Everyone, I am Carmen Michael, the professional mic holder.
Everyone, it's Alexis Cardoza.
What's up, everybody? It's the Wild Rhino Clark Connors from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I am here getting wild, drinking an 805.
Hey, this is Billy Starks.
Rip F and Bison. I ran out of booze.
I am the fire starter, the Carney killer. I am born to die, Jake Crist.
This is Bobby Olson.
This is Anthrax of H2O.
My name's Christopher Landon, Anthony Streeter.
My name is Frank Minetti.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Red Air and one half of the PH Boys from Hood Classic Entertainment, representing the Hood Boys, the PH Boys, Purple Haze, Prince Alexander.
This is Martin Stone, the original Strong Style Hooligan.
And today, you have the privilege
of drinking at Moe's.
And you know I'm drinking with Mo.
And you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinking Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinking at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking go. All right, everybody, Drinking Moe's, my 2 cents, Big Mo here. We got Dustin here again. Before we get too far into this, I just got reminded of something. Disclaimer! The opinions stated in this show are those of the two people talking, and that's it. Like it or leave it, everybody has an opinion. That's it. That's all this show is. All right, now that shit's over.
Got to cover all the bases.
Got to cover all the bases. Yep. Don't know what's going to happen. But, YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell, hit that like button like Sideshow Bob getting hit in the face by a rake. Let's fucking go. All right, so today we're going to go over some of our Mania favorites, favorite WrestleMania matches. Some of them might be more recent, some of them might be a little bit further into the archives, but there are favorites for a reason. So, all right, let's get into it. So for me, I'm going to start off with one that is fairly recent, but the way they pulled it off, it was amazing. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. Now, okay.
I'm imagining you're thinking night 2.
Night 2, yes. Night 2. We need to clarify that because the results of night 1 led into night 2. But, man, it was just the overall way they built it up, from everything where everybody was afraid that, The Rock was taking Cody Rhodes' place. And then they go into it, in the match itself. It was like you'd think bloodline rules. There's just going to be constant interference from the bloodline in there, but there really wasn't.
Realistically, the interference didn't come into play till damn near the end of the match.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting into. Yeah, the interference, didn't really come into play until the very end, and then it was really cool how they pull it off where one guy would come in to try to interfere for Roman, then that guy would get chased off, and then it just back and forth, leading to the eventual end. And I will say this for one last time because I thought this term was getting overused, but Cody Rhodes finished his fucking story. And
that he did.
I, for one, am damn happy because especially the closing images of that night with, his family in there.
It wasn't an angle that was caught for very long, so you might not have caught it.
Yeah.
But to sit here and see the smile on Roman's face as he's being pinned.
Yeah, I did see a picture of that. That was kind of nice, the level of respect that they, behind the cameras that they had for each other, that he was happy, putting over Cody and letting him take over the reins of the title. And yeah, all the images from that to Cody giving the belt to his mother to Brandy being out there and everything. It was a pretty memorable night, and
then to go and watch the post show interviews and whatnot.
Oh yeah. And then the way Triple H, Nick Khan, and Pritchard, the way they actually went and found the actual Rolex that Dusty Rhodes pawned off. Like, man, I don't know how the hell they managed that, but man,
Cody
that was
could go
awesome.
is it acting school?
Yeah.
Or stunt school,
some acting school, yeah. But yeah, just the way, like, man, how the hell they found that, I will never know, but man, that is awesome of them to do that.
Part of me wonders if they've had it and it was just a matter of
getting to that point. Yeah, it could be. But yeah, no, overall, that whole Mania in and of itself was amazing. One of the better ones in recent memory, for sure.
It would go up there with, what was it, 38? That was down in Texas.
Yeah, the memories I have with wrestling, some of them get a little fuzzy the further back they go because you know my damn schedule.
Oh, I know.
I keep busy and it gets a little. Whew.
We've been going back and forth on trying to record, and between your schedule and my schedule, it's a matter of finding time.
That it is. All right. Now, do you have one, or we can just continue going off of my list here? Probably do a good 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if you got one off the top of your head that you can remember.
Well, since you stole mine, it's okay, though, because it's another recent one.
Okay.
I'd have to say Night 1's main event from 40. The tag match.
That was pretty good. It was a pretty good match.
All things considered, looking at who all was in it, looking at the fact that Dwayne hasn't stepped foot in a ring in, 10 years?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. It's
been a while.
It's been a little bit, yeah. But yeah, no, that match was great. They did great building into what would happen in night 2.
Yep.
So overall,
That,
pretty good.
overall, that night one's main event, the build up for it was insane.
Oh yeah.
Seth being willing to go out there with the documented injuries that he had. Because
Yep.
let's be real, we all know his back wasn't the greatest.
Yep. And
His knee probably wasn't the greatest going into it.
hell, in the celebration of night 2, he had to get helped into the ring. I believe it was Kevin Owens and Uso.
And then which, like you said, it led a lot into the story of night 2. I loved the fact that when Seth came out to interfere, he came out to the old Shield music
That
and the old
that that threw me
Shield
off.
gear.
Yeah, that threw me off for a second because it was like, wait, what?
I honestly thought it was Mox.
Yeah, but then I like for a second when I heard people talk about that, I was like, no. But then I hear how Mox had no desire to return there, so I'm like, eh. But then it was also that part of it with the music, it was so quick that I'm like, wait, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
And then that whole spot, well, this is more night 2, but the whole spot where Roman had the chair
Yep.
Seth had brought in, yeah, no. All in all, between night 1 and night
10-year
2,
build up on that in and of itself.
Oh yeah. So the build up between night 1 and night 2 was great. Made for a really great Mania. Now, go ahead.
Do we dare mention that Cody finishing his story, whether people will agree or not, was realistically a 35, 40-year build in and of itself?
Yeah, you go back to everything with his father, Dusty Rhodes.
If I remember correctly, I want to say Dusty was on Mania 1.
You know what? Memory's a little fuzzy, but I know he's been on at least one.
I want to say, if he wasn't on Mania number 1, I want to say he was at least around.
Yeah,
in the company, and to see it all pay off 40 years later.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a good sentimental moment. Good way, night 1, it was kind of like, oh no. But then night 2, you're like, dude, that totally was worth every little bit of it.
Yeah.
For sure. Now, I got another one here. This one's a little more into the archives, if you will. But I have Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, WrestleMania 10.
Ooh.
Like, I hear throughout my interviews, that match is like determined a lot out there as basically a master class of professional wrestling.
Yep.
And then you factor in, they really did a brother versus brother match well.
They did.
No offense to Jimmy and Jay Uso, that one left me a little
hanging.
But that
was a little
those guys. They both
considered.
Yeah. No, they both did their best out there.
Yeah.
But Bret Hart, Owen Hart, that was, like you said, masterclass of professional wrestling and a brother versus brother match. And the only downfall to it was that Bret losing had he was already going to be in the main event against Yokozuna.
Yeah.
So it was like
real repercussions, whether he won or lost.
Yeah, so like he loses the match against his brother, but then goes on and wins the title at the main event. It like maybe it wouldn't have been as realistic knowing how WWE ran stuff back then, but it would have been interesting to see if they had for that first match, Brett and Owen, whoever won was in the main event.
Yeah.
Because that would have added a little extra wrinkle into all of it, but
yep.
like I said, knowing how WWE was ran back then, not knowing their exact opinion of Owen back then, I can see how maybe that wouldn't have been so realistic.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I know another one that was insane, and it goes back to the whole storyline of 40 is the build up for Cody versus Roman on 39. Because realistically, if we think about it, the build for 40 started
that night, yeah. My only thing with that match was like, okay, between night one and night two, night one had, what was on my list, and I'll probably go over it next. The main event of night one, man, that was a way to have the fans going home from night one happy.
Yeah.
And then you go through and, while the match itself was great, the way I don't know, there were so many people that said that it should have happened that night, and then it just felt like that pinfall, Roman getting the win just sucked all the air out of there.
Yeah, but at the same time, it makes sense because if you go back and look at WrestleMania history, every 10 years, they tend to put the title on the biggest babyface of the company at Mania.
Yeah, that I can see that.
So,
although one of the people they put the title on in a year 10-ish, one of those 10-year cycles, unfortunately, we can't seem to be able to talk about him anymore.
Yeah.
Because that was actually one of my favorite all-time matches, that one.
Is it even still, do you know if it's even still up on Peacock at all?
You know what? I'd have to go look.
Because I know they were trying to get rid of a lot of what he was on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate. I mean,
it is.
I'm not gonna sit here and say that people should separate the performer from the stuff outside of wrestling, because what he did was unforgivable, really.
It was, no matter what aspect you look at it from a personal stance or a professional stance in the ring, it was still unforgivable.
Yeah. So, but going back into that first match with Cody and Roman, like we said, the match itself leading up to the end, for me, great match, back and forth action, was loving it. But then the ending kind of just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But I get where you're going with it, though. That's that 10-year cycle. It seems like whoever's the biggest babyface at the time ends up getting that, which, I mean, kind of leads back into my whole thing with Brett and Owen from Mania 10.
Yup.
Look at what happened with Brett. Boom, right there. So I totally get you there. All right, now next one. Like I said, the one I was gonna do next from Mania 39, the main event of night one: Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos.
A well fought match.
Oh man, the back and forth, the whole story behind everything. From when Kevin Owens was hesitant to join Sami in the battle, and then he goes in there and, like I said, that night one of WrestleMania 39, they left the fans going home happy, because that was a feel good moment if I ever saw one.
It was, and to see there, let's be real, there's some fans out there that will say, oh, wrestling isn't a brotherhood, but to sit here and see, realistically, all you gotta do is go back to night one of 39 and watch that big event.
Oh yeah.
Sami and leading up to it, Sami and Owens were not afraid to sit here and publicly state that they came in together, they were on the indies together,
Ring of Honor.
If one of them is somewhere, the other one's not far behind.
Oh yeah. No, most definitely. And
I would hate to see either of them get signed elsewhere, but heaven forbid if their contracts came up and one of them went for, say, ROH, for instance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if the other one follows shortly after.
Yeah, no, that was just something I was thinking about. Yeah, they seem to follow each other pretty well, and
they do. And to sit here and see them finally win the tag titles after all these years,
yeah,
and then to win them at Mania.
Yeah, in the main event from what I remember, the first tag team main event, and for somebody that's as huge of a fan of tag team wrestling as I am, getting to see a tag team and tag team wrestling getting the shine like that, when it's been pretty obvious the WWE has treated tag team wrestling as a bit of an afterthought. And seeing it get the shine the way it did at WrestleMania 39 was awesome. I loved it. And
I hate to say it, up until this new era that we can actually finally call an era, known as the Triple H era, they've put more emphasis on the intercontinental title, the U.S. title.
Some of those titles,
for crying out loud, they had more emphasis on the friggin' 24/7 title.
Yeah, those titles that seem to be kind of put on the back burner, for the lack of a better way to put it. It is nice getting to see those, and it's often been discussed, with wrestling and moving between different companies, and some people saying, "Oh, this person should go to WWE," and blah, blah, blah. Like, up until now, I would have been like, "No, don't," because the way they had tended to treat the incoming talent from elsewhere, but now, man, they're in a better spot than they've ever been, coming in from someplace else.
Exactly. He's
yeah. Well, traffic going on back there, but yeah.
Yeah. I would have gone downstairs, but the internet downstairs sucks.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you. But yeah, no, that's about all I have for that one. You got another one off the top of your head?
I'd have to want to say it was 35, the last single night of Mania, where we had Ronda, Charlotte, and Becky main event it for the very first time.
That was a pretty good match, although apparently the ending wasn't supposed to be the ending like the way it happened.
Yeah.
But still, great match, and
To
no, go ahead.
Not only for it to be a great match, but to sit here and have women for the very first time main event a pay-per-view or premium live event as they're calling it now.
Yeah, no, getting women's wrestling getting that shine on like the biggest stage that WWE has.
Arguably the biggest stage in wrestling.
Arguably, yeah. Definitely. So, yeah, then, you add in all three, which, people are giving Ronda a lot of shit, but you know what? She did okay. I mean, she seemed to let certain things get to her a little more than some people, because they say that you got to have a little bit of a thick skin, and but back then there was also still those factors of the old way of doing things was still rampant, and but hey, they were able to pull it off. They had a great match. One of my personal favorites, Becky Lynch, got one hell of a run there. So congratulations to all of them. And yeah, that will go down as a all-time great WrestleMania match.
And then on the topic of Ronda, looking at all these people who have tried coming in from the UFC, there's realistically only two people off the top of my head that come to mind that actually came in, made an impact, and were good at it. That being Ronda and Brock.
Ken Shamrock.
Fair.
And to some extent, Dan Severn, although he didn't end up getting as much of a shine on the WWE stage.
Dan was good, but Dan didn't also have nearly as good of a run.
Yeah, no, his WWE run left a little to be desired. But yeah, as far as those other three, Ronda, Ken, and Brock, yeah, no, they were the perfect examples of people that could go from the MMA stage to pro wrestling and make an impact.
Yeah, and be good at it.
No, for sure. All right, last up on my list, at least for this episode, Stone Cold versus The Rock, and there's a few of them, but I'm going with WrestleMania 17.
Ooh.
I believe that is the one where they did the Stone Cold heel turn.
Yep.
Aligning with the evil Mr. McMahon, which, people will say that whole turn was a little bit failed because, Stone Cold, even with, his bad guy persona, his little bit of an anti-hero, if you will,
he was still cheered.
Oh yeah, people still cheer him, and he just was amazing. I loved another part of that match that I was loving with the build up was those Limp Bizkit My Way promo videos that they would do, with the different highlights leading into it.
Yeah.
And just for, I believe it was for the whole Mania, but yeah, that match and those videos, I wish they would do videos like that now. They don't do videos like that now. But man, me being as big of a Stone Cold fan as I was and still am, I'll admit maybe this is why the whole heel turn failed, was even despite Stone Cold joining the evil empire, I still cheered for the guy.
Yeah.
I cheered for him before, I'll cheer for him now, and hell, still got stuff of his back here behind me. But yeah, no, you can literally fit any one of the like 3 Stone Cold Rock matches at Mania into one of the greatest, which I believe I actually have 2 of them. I just couldn't remember which one of the Manias was, so I knew of Mania 17, so I went with it.
I know there are people saying like the match with Johnny Cadillac and Christian Temple from the MWA show back in, where was it? April?
Yeah.
I know there are some people trying to say it was that kind of a caliber match, and I'm like, well, maybe.
Yeah, I wasn't there at that event, although I did hear and see some videos of what happened, so I know of what you're talking about.
I don't know about you, but I'd much rather have a Steve Weiser right now to talk about Steve than having a Bush.
Yeah. I need to go get me some more. I think I got some in the back of my car right now. I need to bring out and get chilled because, yeah.
Some Steve Weisers?
No, unfortunately not. But
I was going to say, if you got Steve Weisers in your car, then after this recording, I'll come over and steal some from you.
No, the beer I'm wanting really bad right now is BAM.
Yeah.
Full American lager.
If you got any of those laying around too, I'll come grab some of them.
Oh, trust me, they don't even sell any of those any closer than Kansas City.
And even finding them in KC is hard.
Yeah, it's a little bit hit and miss. You never know when, some place that would sell them might be out of them at that moment. So
it's kind of like the Baja Blast that Mountain Dew has. It's hard to come by those too.
Yeah. Well, you got another one, or are we pretty much tapped out for this Mania favorites episode?
I'd have to say the Stone Cold and Kevin Owens.
Ooh, that would be up there. Yeah.
From a couple years ago when they were in Texas.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember that one because I was a little worried with, all the neck issues and stuff that Stone Cold has. I'm like, oh, how is this going to... And man, they did amazing.
Let's be real. There's several others that we could go on about. The Boneyard or the Graveyard, Buried Alive, whatever they were calling it.
The Boneyard match between AJ Styles and Undertaker.
Yeah, that's another great one. I was actually just watching that Mania a couple weeks ago for that exact match.
Yeah, in a year that was, a bit of a downer because of, the pandemic and all that.
Yeah.
That was interesting to see how they were able to pull it off and leave you wondering
what's next.
What they had in store if that Mania was still able to go about as it was originally planned.
And to see The Rock essentially go out on his own terms.
True.
I think the hardest part with that whole match was the fact that there weren't fans in attendance.
Yeah, that was definitely a weird one, going from the most attended WrestleMania in history to one that there was literally no crowd.
You had, luckily by that point they had figured out a way to at least have a virtual crowd.
Yeah.
And they had all those LED screens throughout the performance center.
Yeah, there's the performance center, and then they also had that one arena in Orlando. But yeah, that was still weird. Like, looking back on that now, that was just seems weird.
Looking back on that whole era of not just wrestling, but where everything was.
That Thunderdome era, yeah, that was a weird time. One that I'm sure most people want to forget about.
Yeah. They had some good matches inside it, but
oh yeah, no, I'm not taking that away from them for sure. But yeah, it was definitely a weird time. Well, that is about all we got for this one. Make sure, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good shit. Because YouTube's algorithm is still a pain in the ass. Let's fucking go.